In wilds beyond, they speak your name with reverence and regret. For none can tame our savage souls, yet you the challenge met. Under palest watch you taught, we changed, base instincts were redeemed. A world you gave to bug and beast, as they had never dreamed. From Elegy for Hallownest, by Monomon the Teacher. Hello to anyone who's probably going to see this as a VOD. Yeah, because there's no viewers in at the moment, so the hello is kind of semi-pointless. But, well, for people who watch VODs. This is Hollow Knight. You've probably heard of it, considering it is a big indie, and many people are still, with great patience, waiting for Silksong. And I am excited for Silksong. Don't know if I'll actually buy it day one, considering I've been pretty frugal lately. But it does look good from what we've seen. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. My excitement for upcoming games tends to be really minimal. Can interact with this, just... Yeah, this is a tutorial. We can focus soul for healing. So Hollow Knight is a Metroidvania. If you haven't heard of the game, it is a Metroidvania. Inspired a lot by Dark Souls, and I remember I had a friend who was really pissed off because I described it that way. Well, former friend at this point, actually, but I won't get into that. But he got really pissed off because it was just like, not because it's hard as a Dark Souls. I'm like, no, it's like Dark Souls because it is a ruined kingdom. Everyone is sad. You're here to collect X number of things, usually. Like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, I'm sure, like from what I've seen of those games, the basic format is ruined kingdom, everyone's sad, go kill the special guys, and sometimes you either take the role of a special guy at the end, or like you defeat the biggest special guy. Like it's got a similar format and such, and even a similar gameplay loop, where instead of collecting souls, you connect. It's just money in this game. But just like Dark Souls, you die, you drop all your stuff, you go back to where you died, you get your stuff back. Although unlike Dark Souls, you have to fight a ghost of yourself if you die. And... Oh, I see someone has started viewing. I'm talking about how someone got mad at me once because I dared compare this to Dark Souls. And this person thought I was comparing it to Dark Souls. Hi. Oh, hi, Ziphos, or Omni, but, well, Ziphos is your, Twitch name. So I compared this game to Dark Souls, and this person assumed I was comparing it because of this game being hard, when my comparison is the whole aesthetic and general flow of the game. Dark Souls, there's a typical plot. You're in a ruined kingdom, everyone is sad. If you want to make things less sad, go kill like a number of special guys, and somehow that'll make things better. For example, I've seen most Dark Souls, didn't beat it, didn't really get into it, but you come to a ruined kingdom, eventually in Hollow Knight, there's these 3 NPCs, you gotta kill them, you get access to the final boss, etc, etc. It's a ruined kingdom, but then outside of like the aesthetics and story, even the gameplay flow is similar to Dark Souls, where you go through a challenging area, and then sometimes you find a shortcut that's still kind of far from your save point, but it makes it so you don't have to repeat certain challenges. Ho there, traveler. I'm afraid there's only me left to offer welcome. Our town's fallen quiet, you see. The other residents, they've all disappeared, headed down the well, one by one, into the caverns below. Used to be there was a great kingdom beneath our town. It's long fell to ruin, yet it still draws folks into its depths. Wealth, glory, enlightenment, that darkness seems to promise all things. I'm sure you, too, seek your dreams down there. Well, watch out. It's a sickly air that fills that place. Creatures turn mad and travelers are robbed of their memories. Perhaps dreams aren't such great things after all. Many used to come, hoping the kingdom would fulfill their desires. Hallownest was once called. Supposedly the greatest kingdom there ever was, full of treasures and secrets. Now it's nothing more than a poisonous tomb full of monsters and madness. Everything fades eventually, I suppose. Feeling tired? That bench may be iron, but I assure you it's quite comfortable. There's no better place to collect your thoughts before heading below. Plus, I enjoy the company. Not that you seem the talkative sort. Oh, and he's repeating dialogue. So, don't really have much available. I'll use the one charm I do have, the Fury. You're at 1 HP, you deal more damage, which, not very viable in this playthrough, because, you know, you don't want to be at 1 HP in a playthrough that deletes your save if you die, so... Forgotten Crossroads. Hello there. How delightful to meet another traveler on these forgotten roads. You're a short one, but you've a strong look about you. I'm Quirrell. I have something of an obsession with uncharted places. Give me a moment. I need to check my phone. Alright, anyway. This ancient kingdom holds many fascinating mysteries, and one of the most intriguing of them is standing right before us. A great stone egg, lying in the corpse of an ancient kingdom, and this egg, is it warm, and suddenly gives off a unique air? Can it be opened? There are strange marks all over it. I do so love a mystery, and who knows what other marvels lie even deeper below us. For so long I felt drawn here, so many tales full of wonders and horrors. No longer could I resist. I just had to see it for myself. And what a time I choose to arrive. This dead world has sprung to life. The creatures are riled up and the earth rumbles. The air is thick. I wonder what could have brought it all about. To persevere in this ruin, that old nail alone just won't be enough. That's no problem. One only has to look around. Plenty have come before us, and most have met their grisly end. Many more equipped than you and I. I'm sure they wouldn't mind were a fellow explorer to relieve them of their tools. It's a kindness, really. The dead shouldn't be burdened with these things. Did you pass that town above? What a gloomy little place, and such majesty hidden right beneath. I suppose that's why they've all headed down here. Who could resist such possibilities? Truly a marvel. Whirl is my favorite character. If you haven't played this game before, you find him all over the map. This is the first time you can encounter him. And I only came this direction just to talk to him. I like voicing characters. And also, I like bugs. Like, I like this game, and oddly enough, the bugs aren't a reason. Well, they're one of the reasons. I appreciate the bugs here. I just love the aesthetics of this game. The world feels real detailed and alive. Also, for a Metroidvania, this game has a lot of good set pieces. Navigate by landmarks. In some games you can't really do that. Anyway, this is NPC. Can't talk to him technically. The Grub Father. This game has its own little Koroks, kind of. Really, that's the best comparison. The grubs, you find the grubs, come back to the father, and he gives you stuff. And this room, that's a dead end off to that left. Here it is. So one thing I like to do, even though it's really risky, but at the same time worth it, because it's this early in the run, there is a sequence break you can do here. If I do it right, that is. So usually you're supposed to come here until you get the wall jump, but you can just jump up those spikes instead. And at the end of this path is a boss fight. Pretty doable at this stage. More survivable if you do it later. All these dead husks. And we see this thing. And we got the Brooding Mullet. Later in the game you get an item that if you somehow manage to hit enemies with that item, you can read their thoughts. And this one has really sad ones. It's just lonely. It literally feels alone. Because it is heavily implied it is the lone survivor of whatever happened in this map. Oh. Gotta heal. Ugh. Again? There we go. Almost died. I'm glad I didn't, because even though this is pretty... Yeah, I'm only 15 minutes into this stream. Dying there would suck, because I don't want to waste 15 minutes trying to get to this boss again. But, got a piece of heart, basically. And, that's very valuable. Ah, hello there. Oh, this is basically the Quirrell voice. Let me try to figure something else. Ah, hello there! Come down to explore these beautiful old ruins, don't mind me. I've a fondness for exploring myself. Getting lost and finding your way again is a pleasure like no other. We're exquisitely lucky, you and I. I'm a cartographer by trade, and I'm working on mapping this area. Right now. Would you like to buy a copy of my work so far? The map can be a useful thing, but it alone won't show you where you are. If you've not the head for directions, I suggest purchasing a compass for my wife, Izelda. She's just opening our new map shop in Dirtmouth, selling all sorts of useful things to wanderers like yourself. She'll even sell you some of my old maps from time to time. I pop back to see her whenever I finish mapping an area. She's always so excited to see me. Oh, by the way, I haven't introduced myself, have I? Yes, I should apologize for that. When you spend a lot of time by yourself, with just your own thoughts, you forget the niceties of conversation. My name is Cornifer, and I've always loved exploring the world. Why, when I was first hatched, I wandered off immediately, leaving my brothers and sisters and my poor mother behind. That's why as soon as I could, I moved to Dirtmouth with my wife. A huge, unending kingdom to explore right on our doorstep? Who could resist? Anyway, I'll let you return to your travels. With a little luck, we'll meet again. Be safe and farewell. How are you finding my map? I've tried to fill out as much as I can, but every map is a work in progress. If you'd like to fill some of the map yourself, you can purchase some mapping supplies from my wife up in Dirtmouth. We've set up a little store to help make ends meet. Obviously, because this game is just, it has a lot of fun with its character designs, this guy is probably a true bug, because, the word bug does, is a scientific classification for, I believe they're called hemipteras, and true bugs, those include stink bugs, box elder bugs, assassin bugs. Like, they have bugs in their name. Oddly enough, cicadas are in this family of insects. And interestingly, they do not have a larval stage. They have nymphs. In terms of insects, a nymph is when an insect hatch, a nymph is... It looks like a smaller version of the adult. The difference is... insect nymphs won't have wings. And here's a grub. They're all in jars. And they're very cute. And another detail about true bugs is they have a sharp proboscis. I've heard it pronounced proboscis, but proboscis. Basically, their mouths. They're pointy, they suck blood out of stuff usually. Cornifer over there has that sharp tongue. It might be possible to confuse him for a weevil, because weevils are also known to have... But the fact he has his antenna on his head would suggest he is a true bug, because weevils... they have weird long faces, but they do have, and they commonly have antennae at the end of their long faces, not at the top of their head. That's one of the few bugs I can genuinely identify. The knight here, well, if you know the lore, this knight probably isn't any bug. Bugs don't really have horns or antennae like this. But then again, this game has a lot of weird lore with like helmets and masks and stuff. But likely just beetle inspired. It used to be believed that the most common animal species on the planet were beetles, like the most abundant. But eventually it was discovered that that's false. It's actually a wasp. And you might think, wait, really? There's more wasps than there are beetles? And, aside from, there's some, like, genuinely tiny microscopic wasps, but, the thing about wasps is that many of them are parasitoids. A parasitoid, that sounds like a parasite, and what a parasitoid does is, instead of, it doesn't feed off another organism its whole life. A parasitoid only does it when it's young. And parasitoid wasp are wasps that, as an adult, lay their eggs in a thing. The babies... Oh, come on. Ah, yes, I can do the sequence break. There we go. Usually you need to wait to do the double... You get the double jump for that, but... You can lure that guy. Anyway, parasitoid wasps. They lay their eggs inside other organisms, which does sound a little spooky. And only the larvae feed off. Once as an adult, the adults just do their own thing. An example would be the tarantula hawk. Bites tarantula, feeds on tarantulas. But the thing about parasitoid wasps is that they're specialists. They won't just eat any old organism. Every wasp species has its one prey. And usually, like, for every tarantula species, there's likely a tarantula hawk to hunt that specific tarantula. So there's just a bunch of wasps out there. Really funny is that there's even some plants that if the plants are being bothered by certain pests, like certain caterpillars, plants can even let off a scent that alerts the predator wasp to come attack the pest. Which is really funny. Imagine being a caterpillar, you're just trying to exist, and the plant you're eating calls a hit on you. I know a lot about bugs. I only took one entomology class, even. Not entomology, etymology. There is a difference. But I did learn a lot in that etymology class. Entomology is the study of language and the origins of words. You can't kill these enemies. They're just... I guess they wouldn't really be an insect, they're just like a generic worm. And first I want to explore this bottom segment of the map. Or not the map, the general area. I've never sped ran Hollow Knight. I've probably played this game at least... I've probably replayed the main game like 6 times, not including Steel Soul attempts. And I've never thought to speedrun because... There are speedrun achievements that exist in other versions of the game, but curiously the PS4 trophies don't include those. Like, if you play the Switch version, then there's all those achievements. More than half of them aren't in this version. PS4 trophies, basically any achievement that requires another playthrough, isn't in the PS4 version, which I really like, because, I don't know, making an achievement of, does this character live or die, feels... Anyway, second boss, although most players might encounter this as their first boss, or second boss, but in a different sense. Because Brooding Molech is definitely not your first boss on a regular first playthrough. This thing might be. But as you see, fast, easy. Its attack pattern is simple. Although I will say, this part is gross. Can't go up there without the mid-air dash. And the reason we come here is it's not required, but it is useful. Oh! Oh no, you oaf! You wield your nail like a club. Esme, how much deeper do we have to go? Oh, what? Who are you? I see. Oh god. That voice is making me cough. Oh no. I see. Oh, I need to... I don't have water nearby. Ah, no. Darn. I see. I'll be right back. I need that water. Water. I see. This old village. What a strange dream to have led me down here. If you hadn't found me, I don't think I would have ever woken. I'm Sly. Usually I live in an uneventful life up in Dirtmouth. The air in these ruins doesn't agree with me, so I'd best be getting back. If you return above, come and see me. I'm probably the friendliest face left there, and I can thank you properly for your good deed. You're exploring then? Very brave. Plenty of courageous wanderers have been lost to the hunger of these old caverns. You have your nail, though, and I can tell just by looking that you know how to wield it. Yeah, I drank water, and the moment I did, that voice became infinitely easier. So that enemy. Again, a face like that would imply it's a Hemithrin, a true bug. And another insect fact is anything that only has one pair of wings is classified as a fly. That's the Diptera family. Because most insects with flies as an exception have 2 pairs of wings. But flies only have 1 pair. And usually in those pairs of wings can include the shell itself, like the elytra of a beetle. Those do classify as a pair of wings themselves. Here's one of the most remote enemies in the whole game. This is the only room where these shield guys spawn. Which I find ridiculous, because it feels like a type of enemy that should maybe be more common. Anyway, there's a grub in here. So cute. You want to unlock that. Don't remember what's here at the right. Nothing. Well, technically there's something. A whole new area, but can't go there yet. And probably shouldn't, even if we could. Now this is where a tough enemy is, and if you're a completionist, there are some things in this first area that... So the way this game works is that anytime you rest at a bench, any enemies that don't respawn up... All enemies respawn the moment you rest at a bench. And later in the game, you gain the Hunter's Journal, and you get lore for every enemy, and you have to kill that enemy X number of times. And some of these enemies, like those 2 swordsmen, they're a good idea to come and tackle right now, because later in the game, something happens that makes it harder to complete those journal entries. And while this isn't technically a walkthrough, I thought I could state that for any people who like this game and are completionists. Because I have done everything in this game. The only thing I technically haven't done is doing the boss rushes with every seal. Because that's just insane. Oh, bury my mother, pale and slight. Bury my father with his eyes shut tight. Bury my sisters 2 by 2. And then when you're done, let's bury me too. Do you know that one? It's one of my favorites. We can sing something else if you like. You start singing and I'll join in. I bet you have a beautiful singing voice. So why are you down here for? If you came to get wealthy, just look around you. These mines are still bursting with riches. There's plenty for everyone. Just grab a pick and join in. Oh, bury the knight with her broken nail. Bury the priest. Something about a crown. I can't remember the rest of that one. Maybe I'll just hum it. Very cute NPC. You just know something bad's gonna happen. Nothing good happens in these types of games. A toll machine with a symbol of a stag. Insert Geo. Greetings, little one. It's been an age since I've last heard the ringing of a station bell. It echoed down the stagways and called me to you. I've grown stiff and tired over the many years and I've forgotten much. The sound of a bell will always call me back. These stagways stretch the depths of Hallownest. If you want to travel them, hail me from the platform. I will take you where you need to go. It was a long time ago, but I remember when these highways and crossroads pulsed with life. These are the paths I first carried passengers through when I was young. Those travelers are long gone, yet still I remain. Now it seems it's just you and I and the furtive creatures scratching and squirming all around us. You gonna travel the stagways? That's generic dialogue. Funnily enough, he wouldn't count as a stag beetle, I think, because stag beetles, he's a rhino beetle. And stag beetles, I'm pretty sure, have the big mandibles. They don't have that going on. But, I mean, still technically a beetle. This place. We are near the surface, I believe. There's a town here. You should take opportunity to rest. This place was once full of travelers coming and going. It seems much quieter now. And now we have fast travel.
Bapanada.
Come to buy a map, have you? It's really my husband you should be dealing with, but what a surprise, he's headed down below. He'll pop back occasionally, deliver new maps for the store, but I do wish he'd spend a little more time up here. I've not much interest in retail myself. Now, let's see what's here for me to sell. You want the quill immediately. And technically, you don't need the compass, but it does make navigating a lot easier. I tend to forego the compass, at least at first, because so you can double tap L1 to see the full map. Here's what it's like. And what the quill does is now any part of the map you've explored is now filled. So we basically explored everything Cornifer left for us. Oh, what a turn! Our shopkeep's come home. Just wandered back in. I'd hoped for grand tales of his time below, but he seems to remember almost nothing. Maybe it was all too much for him. If you're interested in his wares, watch out. He drives a hard bargain, that one. No competition! That's the problem. It's bad for the market. Not that he's complaining. I never thought I'd see such a thing. The Stag Station has opened. That building lay silent since before even my time. Oh, I've heard the tales of the glorious lines, a web of tunnels running all through the kingdom. Not that I'll be traveling them, mind you. I'm quite content where I am. Did you visit that temple? A strange building, I've heard. Though I'd never dared the journey myself. The braver among us once went there to pray. Said they felt at peace within the walls. After a while, they stopped going. I wonder what changed. A young couple's just recently taken up residence in the house beside the station. Seems they're running a map shop, which may excite adventurous types like yourself. She's a tall bug, the wife. I told them take a larger house, especially given they're all empty, but they like the look of that one. The way she has to bend just to get through the door, I wouldn't put up with it myself. What was the voice for him? Let me get a sip of water before I die. Just trying. Ah, hello. I knew we'd meet again. How do you like my cozy little store? I've made myself pretty comfortable here, selling old trinkets to travelers like yourself. If you're planning a trip below, I've several items that may improve your chance of survival. Mask shard? That's technically useful, but... Oh, that's rude. Gathering Swarm is one of the first things I like to buy in this game, because it makes earning money faster. Because what Gathering Swarm does is it just picks up money for you. But if you can't afford that... Wayward Compass, might as well. I don't know why she's so loud compared to every NPC. Oh, and earlier we opened up a shortcut where up through the top of the map there is a little tunnel we can access now. There are other things to grab in the crossroads, but they're mostly grubs. And for Steel Soul, I like to grab grubs if they're nearby, on the way, etc. So... One time I bought this game for Switch, and I thought it'd be nice to replay, and I accidentally got basically everything without meaning to. Like, I beat the final boss, and then I checked how much stuff I was missing, and there was only like 4 whole things in the entire game that I didn't get. Which... I don't know what that means for me, but cool. More. This enemy is menacing, but as you see, the pattern's real simple. Up there is stuff, but you technically can't get to it until later. It's not... Unless you specifically want to kill those enemies and get the Geo right now. But as you see, long line of spikes. It'll take a while. That way is blocked. The False Knight. First actual major boss of the game. If you're a new player, this is likely your first boss, if the Gruz mother isn't. He's easy. It's not like Dark Souls where you get destroyed. You see, he has two jumps. He either jumps back or he jumps forward. If he jumps forward, you can just crawl under him. He's a maggot inside armor. And then he does this, and you can hit those falling rocks to chip in some more damage. Got hit. See, he doesn't even do 2 damage despite his size. The shockwave. You know how to dodge shockwaves. If you don't know how to... If you're a gamer and you don't know how to dodge shockwaves in this day and age, what is wrong with you? Like, unironically. Technically, this boss is optional once you get a certain point. Shoot, I made a mistake. See, I just wanted to show that the skip existed, not actually do the skip. Yeah, if you save and quit the game, you're just taken back to your last save point. Which, yeah, it still counts those areas as explored. So the way this game saves is weird. I think I kept all the money I got. Huh. This jumper guy is also important to farm some kills for while you can. He's not as remote as the other enemies I've pointed out, but from when I was farming the journal entries, he was tougher than others. So if you're a speedrunner, you can skip him, and you probably should, because you technically don't need the city crest. Plus a city crest only lets you, it's a one-time use, it's a one-way, one-time use item, and the area it lets you enter, there are other methods to enter it. Anyway, even the mace was a bug. If you come back here to kill, if you wait to kill the false knight until you have the dream nail, you can dream nail the bug, and one of its dream nail dialogues is "Freedom at last!" Oh-ho! What is creeping out of the darkness? My, you're looking grim. A strange, empty face and a wicked-looking weapon. Something important has drawn you down into Hallownest Corpse, but I won't ask what. Perhaps the reason you found me is because you need my help? Say no more, friend. I'm going to give you a gift. A nasty little spell of my own creation. It's just perfect for a little one like you. Ho 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 ho. Consumed the Vengeful Spirit. Tap square to unleash the spirit. Spells will deplete soul, replenish soul by striking enemies. So, as a first-time player, your instinct would probably be to talk to that guy, but you don't have to. Anyway, that's the Vengeful Spirit. It's pretty good. Much like healing, I believe... I forgot if a full spirit chart... I forgot if full spirit gives you 2 shots or 3. Those little roly-poly enemies are pretty easy to beat. In real life, isopods, or roly-polies as most people call them, aren't insects, they're crustaceans. Still a species of arthropod. Isopods tend to like humans' places. You might find them in damaged wood, but they're not the cause of the wood damage. They like to live in moist, already rotting wood. So if you spot them around wood, that means the wood itself is already no good. They don't do anything new. That's why sometimes they're also called wood lice, although they're not actual lice. And then there's this if you need the spirits. Genuinely don't remember what's this way. I remember it not being worth it. Oh, it's just money. That sounds so petty. Oh, it's just money. And there's also this. You beat these little jelly-filled guys, and they give you temporary HP. The moment, and when I say temporary, the moment you even save, you can't, if you go to a bench and you still have this temporary HP, it's also gone. Anyway, this is basically a mini-boss. And you can tell, yeah, it's a crustacean, because insects only have 6 legs. Crustaceans can have 8, like, they can have whatever pairs of legs they want. Anyway, it won't let you attack up close, so what you're supposed to do is, wait for it to, summon the little guys. Kill the little guys for soul, and I'm doing that badly. And shoot it with spirit. Pretty simple fight. Crustaceans also have 2 sets of antennae, usually. Sometimes they're barely visible. Oh-ho! There you are! I was watching over you while you slept. I must have slipped away myself. I woke up and found you disappeared. You are a surprising one. Oh. Actually, I wanted to ask a small favor of you. You see, there is a certain creature lurking just above us in the heart of this temple. Oh-ho? Well, yet another surprise. You've slain the creature before I've even asked. I scarcely deserve such a friend as you. You're a marvel. Oh. And look, the gate between us has opened. Oh. I'm sure you're eager to move on. Farewell and have faith. Whatever you are seeking, it will find you. Why do you hesitate? You'll get nothing more from me, I'm afraid. Though, I do admire your persistence. And, I just wanted to play for a short while. 50 minutes is good for me. So, thanks to the sole viewer who was here. Don't know if I'll actually save these videos as a VOD or not yet. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. So that's the end of the stream.